Hello everyone, welcome to Tabletop Union. Today we're going to look at several different Van Saar kits, and I'm going to build them and come back and show you what I've settled on for a starting gang. So yeah, let's get going. So this is the Van Saar Gang box. Comes with 10 miniatures. Pretty standard for Necromunda gang boxes. Back in the original Necromunda, these were probably my second favorite gang. They were my favorite until Outlands came out, and then it was Scavies, because mutants are fun. But the new Van Saar is, pretty different than the old ones. I mean, back in the old ones, they were the most technologically advanced ones. And it showed because they wore jumpsuits instead of just whatever they could find, and they had nice weapons. But these ones, they're like almost alien in their appearance, with their braids coming out of the back of the head, which I assume are like some kind of like data uplink thing, so they can interface with tech. I could be wrong. I don't really like in their paint scheme how they've gone with just the military green for the weapons. I kind of understand why, because Van Saar, their business is all about supplying weapons to the Imperium. It's part of their tithe, I guess, part of the Necromundan tithe. And they also can take these energy shields, which are pretty cool. He's got it there. Pretty cool looking. Takes a lot of sort of forethought when you go to paint it, because you need to keep the clear green plastic separate, and then carefully paint the sort of, I want to say boning, but yeah, we'll go with boning. Why not? Keep that and paint that really careful so you don't get any on the clear plastic itself. So yeah, these guys are all irradiated. They're slowly dying, or maybe even not so slowly, thanks to the thing that gives them their power, the STC. It's like it creates all the patterns for their tech, and they can, unlike the Adeptus Mechanicus, they kind of experiment with making new patterns, but it's damaged, and yeah, it's killing them. So they have to rely on like the Escher for anti-rad chems to keep them alive, and then their suits help them stay alive. And the fact that they have an STC is a closely guarded secret, because if the Imperium knew they had one, those are super rare, and finding one could mean technological leaps for the Imperium, as it's old tech from before the fall, before the heresy, and the Imperium doesn't innovate much, but if they get a new STC, then that's their form of innovation. Anyways, I've gotten a little off topic. Let's open this up. I guess what I'm trying to say is the Van Saar have a pretty interesting background in how it interacts with the greater Imperium at large. Okay. So let's see. Standard 10 bases. Check. Here is the energy shield. It's got a little nodule thing here that a lot of people sort of theorized on, but apparently it's just a doodad they put on because they had the space. Got a piece that came with the sprue. Get the instructions for building them. So yeah, standard 1 sprue doubled. So we're going to have 5 bodies doubled. I think, unlike the Cutter, this should be a little nicer to put together. The only problem is they do have a lot of, like, their weapons come in 2 parts usually. Like, you can see here how, like, the hand is holding sort of the stock and the trigger, and then the rest of the weapon is added on. And I guess it makes them sort of, it might make them easier to change what loadout you give to each model. They're not just finished putting together the Cutter, and they are so limited. God, but that'll be in the video. I got these, like, I guess tubes that go over their, around their neck. Yeah, I do like the helmets. They're pretty neat. The symbol for Van Saar is a spider, so it makes sense to have these multi-eyed helmets going on. And they also get stuff like arachnorigs and what are they called, like cyberarachnids as pets. Yeah, there's the shield. You know, it's got 2 sort of halves that clip together that need to be painted, but they need to be painted separately and then all put together at the end and then glued onto the miniature. And there they all are there. I'm definitely going to have a champion with 2 pistols, probably a plasma pistol and a las pistol to start with, but ultimately going to like a second plasma pistol. Nice color. It's pretty good assembly guide in terms of the color in that. And let's look at the sprue. So lots and lots of little bits. Oh boy. Yeah, looks like shoulder pads, all the braids. You gotta be careful snipping these off. Don't want to snap them. I find it best to go for the most fragile looking connector to start with, so probably here, and then support the mini around it as you're clipping it out to try and prevent any unwanted snappage. Here we have the heads. Those are really nicely detailed. A lot of bare ones. I guess pretty even mix. Maybe one more. Oh wait, no, there's some more down here too. And also this is where my broken off piece would sit on the sprue. It seems to be fine. Little example of the torso. You know, like the core and then the back, and then the front plate is going to be put on it. So yeah, there heavy weapons are also very unique looking. They're sort of over the shoulder slung and have these like circular power nodes. Could be fun painting. And they've also got shock staves and batons. Don't know how good they actually are, but it's different. Yeah. So let's see. Which weapon is which? Where's the plasma? They're also very strange and alien looking, like is this plasma? Could be. Or wait, or is this plasma here? Probably this one actually, I think. Anyways, we'll look through the rest of the stuff and then I'll find out when I build them, I guess. Okay, so we'll have a quick look through the sort of upgrade box. Well, not upgrade, but sort of the Super Champions and Super Jews that came out. Each of the main gangs got a box like this. Cawdor, a little different, but anyways, this one is pretty banged up, but I checked beforehand and everything's okay. Just, this is how it came. Looking at the back, it's got them all with shields. I wonder how difficult it's going to be to give 2 las pistols to 1. And then you got the Archeoteks here. Sorry, those were the Neoteks on their Grav cutters. Really, it's easy, also good for the ashways because you know they're already mounted. And then Archeoteks. These are the arachnorigs, sorry. And they look really cool. I'm not sure how good they are though. Like this, the Rad Beamer is apparently kind of trash. So it might just be I'll build this one with like the melee option and then give them a plasma pistol, I think. And then have them sort of be mid to close range, preferably mid, but if he gets in combat, then at least he has the best chance of fighting of all of them. Anyways, yeah. So open her up. It's a little more difficult than usual because it's so crushed. Oh, sorry for knocking the camera. Hopefully we're still okay. It's empty. And we have the instructions. Not quite as nice as the gang one was. It's just black and white. I guess it's the joy of being one of the specialist games. You don't always get the nice instructions. So yeah, these Archeoteks look pretty complex. Lots of little bits. And then here is the Neotek itself. I'm not seeing any offhand pistol options, so I might have to do a bit of converting for that. That's annoying. And then their Grav cutter, which is pretty straightforward. Okay. And this comes with 2 of the shield sprues. One of them came off and all the jostling. And we got 1, 2, 3, looks like 4 32mm bases, and 225. I would have thought those Archeoteks would be on larger bases than this, but you know, I mean, this is 2 and it's Archeoteks is what comes as a 2 in this. So we have the always popular, nobody hates them, they're beloved flight stands. Yeah, necessary evil. Bit of garbage from the sprue, and yep, once again, 1 sprue doubled. These Grav cutters, yeah, they're a nice sort of meaty chunk of plastic there. You got a little, these are the side fins or props or whatever. And we got the, I think this is considered like carapace armor for the Archeoteks, but you don't have to take carapace armor, but I think that's sort of what's modeled. Yeah, otherwise it looks pretty similar, just some larger bits thanks to the Grav cutters. Yep. All right, I think that pretty much covers that. One more thing to look at. And then last, and I guess actually least, for the unboxings, we have the Saar Weapons and Upgrades. Doesn't look like a lot of parts, honestly, but it's going to be this doubled, so it's still, you know, decent. Let's open it up. And here we go. So additional las pistol and servo claw. We got different heads, which these ones look pretty different. They're sort of half masks. This one's pretty cool. Yeah, almost looks like a robot. Individual weapons. So I think that's like maybe a rad beamer, and that's some kind of flamer, and that's las pistol. And yeah, they just attach onto the same sort of base part of the gun. In left arms, we got a fighting knife, we got a servo claw that's shown here, we got a shock baton, I believe. We got a Grav gun, melt-a-gun, and they do use different part numbers, but they look exactly the same. It's just really this part that's different. And yeah, the rad gun, and you may have flamer, yeah. On the back we got Grav gun, flamer, melt-a-gun. And we got a multi-melta and a plasma cannon. I'm eventually gonna have to make one of these, I know. Just because plasma cannon's gotta be really good, right? I mean, multi-melta also disgustingly good, but it feels a bit too much, maybe. Although I have ordered the Forge World model that comes with the augmech with a las cannon and 3 cyberarachnids, so that's also pretty much overkill, I guess. But yeah, that was a quick look at the Upgrades Sprue. Gotta say, not blown away by it. It just seems like less stuff, not a lot of added variety, but we'll see how I feel once I get into actual kits and building and Yeah. I'm a little worried about the offhand pistol for the Neotek, because I'm going to probably build one Neotek and one Archeotech. Oh, that's what I've been calling them the whole time. Anyways, I'll be back and we'll see how my finished models are. All right, on to the review of the Saar Gangers and the Cutters and Archeotech box. Also the Upgrade Sprue, which I might struggle to remember which pieces are from that sprue. Anyways, let's get going. So first off, got my leader that I made. I know this head is from that sprue, the Upgrade Sprue. Right now he just got the shield arm without a shield on. I will give him a shield at one point, but it was too expensive to start with, and man, I'm just noticing that I did a really poor job with the mold line on this leg. Oh, I gotta fix that up. He went together pretty well. I think this plasma gun, oh, that was my dog shaking there. I think the plasma gun, I had to do a bit of a conversion. You'd think that having like the stock and the main body of the gun separate, it would be sort of a universal port, but for the heavy weapon, and for the special weapon, plasma gun, it didn't want to pair up with properly just by default with this stock. And other choices looked a little awkward, just in the arm pose for the ones that are meant to use this. Sorry about that. My dog decided now would be a great time to eat her food, which is right beside me, and now you might be able to hear her having a drink. Anyways, I'll try and keep going. So that's the leader. Moving on, we have double pistol champion. I've got her using the 2 plasma pistols, but she's starting with a plasma and a las pistol just because of lack of credits, but upgrading her to another plasma pistol will be a priority, and I didn't want to go and model one with a plasma and a las pistol because that's not the dream. Then we have, I guess they're just called techs, just a regular ganger. He's got the las gun. I gave him a little knife. I don't know if I'll ever have a knife, but I thought it looked fun. A bit of a hair there or something. The Saar went together. They were okay. The fact that a lot of the time the bicep is separate from the forearm, and then the forearm is attached to the hand and the grip and stock, but the front of the gun is separate. It was a little fiddly. I wish they'd just, I'd heard people complain about the fact that there was a 2-piece gun. I didn't really understand why that was such a big deal, but I kind of do now. It's a bit of a pain. They should have just made full arms for them, I guess. Made them 1 piece. I don't know. You tell me what you think is better. Here's another tech. Hit the camera. God damn it. He's also got a las gun. This helm, let's see. I'm not sure which helms are from the upgrade. I think this might be from the upgrade. Maybe. Although it might have been this one that was from the upgrade. Or maybe both of them. But anyways, yeah, these are another lasgun tech. I add the knives on them just, in theory they'll eventually have like some kind of close combat weapon just in case they get in combat. But their job is to stay at range and shoot stuff. It's just what they do. And she started eating again. I'm just going to try and quickly get through this. Here is the Archeotech I made. Now I've put this in my starting gang. They're not really super great. Their idea is supposed to be that they're the melee combatants for the gang, but even then they're not so great at it. Was it Spider Rig? Arachnorig? I can't remember which one is the big suit and which one is this, but it looks pretty cool. I went for just the melee ones, not the rad beamer. I might eventually try converting the rad beamer to say like a plasma or some kind of other heavy weapon. But that's a tricky one just because it goes together pretty weird. I like the design of this with the sort of horn going to the back and then the horn coming out of the chest. It just adds to that sort of alien looking design of the Vansar that they have. And finally I built a Grav cutter. Just the one for now. He's not attached to the cutter, he's just stuck on with some poser tags, so positioning is not final, but I want to be able to paint them separately. I guess this is a she. I gave her 2 las pistols. I didn't see much point in giving her a shield. Seemed a bit of a waste of points. So instead she'll just go in there and just try and shoot stuff and zip around the battlefield. The cutter itself went together really easily. She went together pretty easily. I had to do an arm swap to get the second plasma pistol on there. I think that's from the base kit. Otherwise, yeah. Pretty neat. So that is my starting Saar Gang. It's probably not the most optimal one, but I was going more for things I thought that were neat. The Archeotech is definitely the biggest question mark there. He gets access to some decent skills, not the specific Vansar ones because those kind of are terrible, but he gets access to Savant, I believe, so I probably have given him Fixer or Munitioneer. And I think one of these guys has Fixer, the leader, and one of these guys has Munitioneer. I imagine the leader has Munitioneer because he's got the plasma gun. And the Archeotech has Fixer, and that just gets you extra money after each game. Free money's good. So there you have it. There's the Vansar boxes. Let me know what you thought. Do you like the Vansar? I know they're kind of a polarizing gang. They can be very powerful, and they are kind of a one-note style of play. Stand back and shoot stuff, which can be, I've heard, a little unpleasant to play against. Vansar were probably like favorite ones back in the old Necromunda now, they've gone down a bit. Not because these are bad. I just think that a lot of the old designs I didn't like for the other gangs and the updated ones are great. Like Delac, I thought were just silly looking in old Necromunda. That's another thing. I'm going to listen to these videos, and sometimes I say Necromunda is very weird. It comes out like Necromunda. I'm trying to say Necromunda. I guess it's a matter of what it sounds like in my head isn't quite how it sounds when it's said. I'll try and work on that, because I know when I'm watching videos it kind of drives me nuts when they call it Necromunda. And it was horrifying to hear myself saying it. Anyways, please leave some comments below on what you think. I'd just like to get some feedback. And I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.